Good evening. Welcome to Parenting Corner. And today we are looking at discernment in parenting. Discernment in parenting. And discernment is the sense of judgment. How did a lovely girl turn out to be a street girl under the watch of the parents? How did a promising boy end up in drugs under a caring, godly parent? Welcome. It is Parenting Corner. The responsibility of nurturing our children place a high demand on the parents. And sometimes we give the children all the care that they require, all the attention, all the provision. But if we don't make use of the sense of discernment, then we'll run into unnecessary trouble. Welcome. That brings me to the story that I'm very familiar with around my family. Growing up, we had this child. I was so loved by my parents. He was so loved that you dare not scold the child. And then when you scold the child, you run into the problem of my parents. Because of that, when this guy slid into drugs, none of the family member was able to dictate. Welcome. Parenting is not only providing all that the child needs, it's also discerning when the child is straying away. And still on our family, the family of Isaac, Jacob came nearer to Isaac. Isaac felt him. He was able to know that, yes, this is the voice of Jacob, but the hand I'm feeling is the hand of Esau. I think at that moment, there should be a sense of perception, of judgment. Is this child deceiving me? Welcome. It is Parenting Corner. And we're looking at the sense of discernment. Especially if you're a Christian, the Spirit of God will be able to help you to sieve out the good, the bad, and make sense of the right judgment to make out. This generation where the children are very, very intelligent, are you using your senses, which God has availed for us in training these children? Because you will discern through these senses, the sense of sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. That is the thing God has provided for you to be able to connect with your child. The sense of sight. Once you are looking at your child and you have been able to understand the personality of your child, and there is a pattern that has already been created, if there is difference in the pattern, then you should ask questions. If maybe your child comes early back from school and it has been his or her regular pattern. But all of a sudden, you just discover that your child is keeping late from school. You should be able to discern and ask questions and find out what is really the problem. You know the general odor or smell you perceive around your family. If maybe there is a change and you refuse to ask questions, you are not discerning, you are not observing, things may go out of hand before you will discover. May the Lord give us sense of discernment. Welcome, it is a parenting corner. I was saying, looking at discernment. How did our children that are like jewel slip out of our hand and slide into what we don't imagine? I think we need discernment. And when your intuition, or when you feel you are being led or you are seeing a difference, do you postpone it and say, I'll check on it later, I'll check on it later, I'll check on it later? And while that child is drifting away, it calls for you to be proactive in attending to issues that are sensitive. Welcome. It is a parenting corner and we're looking at discernment. When your child pretended to be sleeping and you notice you are hearing the sound of music from her room or the room, and then they heard your step and quickly switched off, and then you are not able to discern that this child has been awake all through the night. Welcome. It is a parenting corner. When the friends are putting pressure for your child to join that bad group, and because you have not created a bond where you discuss and relate and laugh, and the atmosphere is welcoming for the child, and the child now decides to slide into unholy relationship that is making the child to go into things that you don't accept as a parent. At what point should you discover that your child is straying away? Is it when it's late? Can your child tell you, I'm facing this problem, I'm at the verge of missing it? Welcome. It is a parenting corner. We are looking at discernment. Have you studied that your toddler, that the steps of that little 3-year-old child just changed? And because she has not understood the concept of rape, and that child was molested, but because you did not observe that the pattern of my child, the way she takes her step has changed, and the culprit will just go scot-free. Welcome. We're looking at discernment. How do we lose a promising jewel to vices, to things we don't believe? It is because at the point where that change was about to occur, there was no discernment. We pray for discernment. Welcome. It is a parenting corner. It is when you ask questions, you probe, you are inquisitive, you use your senses of sight, of hearing, of smelling, of touch. You'll be able to discern what really is happening around my child. Welcome. It is a parenting corner, and we are looking at discernment. Is that child running to you and say, I want to say something, and all of a sudden the child says, okay, forget about it, I don't want to say anything, and the child is giving you body language that you should decode that this child needs attention? At what point did you allow your child to slide and you didn't not know? Welcome. It is a parenting corner. Did you check up your child in the boarding school? Did you call? Did you ask questions? What's new? Who are your friends? Are your friends good friends? Do you have a troublesome friend? Why did you like your friend? What friend that the character you seems to be funny to you? Did you ask such questions? Because it is when you ask questions you'll be able to discern, is my child aligned or is my child straying away? Welcome. It is a parenting corner. Rearing children of this age, we really need the Spirit of God, because some of them can be very, very secretive. How they can hide things that you can't decode. It is only when they have made you their confidant, they are free to tell you their mistake. They even the ones they say, I will tell my mother, even if I make mistake, I know she will not be happy, but she will not throw me out. Welcome. It is a parenting corner, and we're looking at discernment. Assuming Isaac discerned that this is Jacob, and this guy wants to trick me, he would have breached that action and find out, why are you so desperate to get this birthright or to get this blessing? What is the problem? And then they would have sought things out. But he was not able to use his sense of reasoning, of discernment. Things went the way they went. So from this family of Isaac, I think discernment was lacking. I think there was no bond. There was not much time as Esau and the mother had a good time. There was no good time with Isaac and Jacob too. It was only when there is food, there is hunt for a blessing, or there is, I must be at this place, that is when you see them relate. Welcome. We've looked at discernment. The only thing we can ask, because there is a super being that controls the affairs of man, that if he opens your eyes, you'll be able to see that God will give us, parents, discernment to dictate when things are not aligning to his glory. Have a fulfilled week.